Humble my game, yeah. Family friendly. I play the game, yeah. And touch the milli.
Get your exclusive Ecomi, VeVe, and Omi merch at CavellAnderson.com. Limited edition 100 items drop while supplies last.
Got them dizzy. We pass the moon, yo. We gon' keep winning. Red dreams come true. For me and you. Ecomi did it, yeah. With the crew.
Yo, what is going on, y'all? I'm Cavell Anderson, and we are back with another VeVe and Ecomi video. And this one, we're going to be diving into some more of this amazing interview from the women of VeVe. Be sure to check them out. Link down below as always. But in this one, we're going to be focusing on a few key points that they talked about, which is going to be the MTL, why Immutable X. He also touches on the real NFTs, because people always say that VeVe doesn't have real NFTs and things like that. So he also touches on that. Then he explains the technology behind Immutable X. He also explains the Omi Token, the Omi utility. And also he's confirmed that we're going to have a few more staking tiers added. So that's a huge announcement. I think this is the first time reveal that we're hearing that. Then we're going to jump into the fact that everything is going to burn, and basically he shows that they really understand the value of this token, and that the token is in their mind. It's at the top of their mind. A lot of people always say, yo, because they haven't been focusing on the token, they don't care about the investors, blah, blah, blah. In reality, people just don't really understand the correlation and the connection to VeVe and why it's very, very important to get that done first before you ever get to jumping on a token. So the fact that they're doing it in the right way sometimes throws people off, because this has never been done before. So if you're thinking in crypto terms, you're going to think that they're doing it backwards, when in reality, if you're thinking in terms of the big picture and trying to really become an Amazon, they're doing it perfectly. So it's just difference in mindsets, and sometimes you got to take a step back to try to understand what's being done. That being said, we're going to jump into this one. Be sure to drop a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and turn on notifications so you stay updated. Yeah, let's dive in.
We use jargon without realizing we use jargon. So I suppose one that people I hear ask about is MTL. What actually is it? And also what it's not when it comes to crypto. So
we almost need our own glossary of terms when people join the community. So,
Definitely.
but that's a great place to start. So the MTL is a money transmitter.
Glossary of terms. That's actually a good idea. One of y'all developers out there who's still actively doing it, y'all should throw something like that together, where it's just like a whole little, like a little glossary, a whole little list or whatever, or somebody who just make a quick little image, whatever, with all the terms and stuff we use. It'd be dope.
License. What it essentially allows us to do, and we've integrated a third-party MTL, is to offer financial services. For us, it's in the form of a payout or a cash out in many jurisdictions. Now, without a money transmitter license, we would have had to apply for a financial services license in every jurisdiction that the app operates in, and that would be years of work and just unnecessary muck about. So the money transmitter at the moment is undergoing some fantastic testing with our small team and a few extra people now. It will be available through the web wallet, and most people don't know that exists. So there's a web wallet that lets you do gem and Omi transactions once they're enabled in the app. But essentially, it's going to let you cash out of the app. So you could sell your collectibles for gems, and those gems convert back into dollars, and you can withdraw those to your bank account. That's the core utility of the MTL, at least to start. Now, eventually, the idea is that MTL will allow you to also buy collectibles listed in Omi tokens, and the MTL will facilitate that token purchase. So rather than having to learn how to go to an exchange, understand.
So this is the key thing that we're talking about, and this is one of the things that makes the token bear market resistant. This feature right here that's going to make the Omi token used a heck of a lot more within the platform without people ever knowing that crypto exists. This is going to be one of those biggest things here. So this use case of the MTL, this is what that is.
Also buy collectibles listed in Omi tokens, and the MTL will facilitate that token purchase. So rather than having to learn how to go to an exchange, understand blockchain and crypto and keys and all of those things, you can buy it using your credit card still through the money transmitter, and it will send Omi tokens to the seller. there will be other uses of it eventually as well, as the VeVeverse and things builds out, but I'll probably hold off on that just so that we don't confuse too many people.
Yeah, so he was finna go into something that he probably shouldn't be talking about, so that was interesting. Let me know what you all think he was gonna say right there. But yeah, so as you can see, like that's still in the plans, it's still in the plan. Like, and this is what people are seeing in the Omi token, the fact that this is really mass adoption. So if we really get 100 million people on this platform and they can simply use their credit card to start making purchases in Omi, imagine the impact that that has. No matter what the market is doing, no matter what the crypto side is doing, if we have 100 million people, like, and they're all just using their credit card to use the Omi token, yeah, like this is what you might as well just completely forget that the crypto side even exists. You know, like it's irrelevant at that point. So yeah, because the crypto side is never going to be that big. You're never going to have hundreds of millions of people on the crypto side. But yeah, anyway.
So initially, is it that people can change gems only to what we would refer to as fiat, so the currency that they use in their country?
That's correct. Yes, it's that's the way things are set up at the moment, and that will be the sort of the first batch of transactions. Once we move to the web platform, and as we all know, crypto is only becoming more and more adopted. We might get to a point where you could trade them back for USDT instead of US dollars, you know, and keep it in the crypto ecosystem instead of moving it back to fiat or a bank account. But that's a down the line kind of thing.
And then I suppose another thing that people might hear us all discuss is Immutable X. And what is Immutable X, and why is VeVe moving over to Immutable X type of thing, really?
Okay, so at the moment we are built on GoChain, which is a blockchain in and of itself. And when we first started building VeVe, that was one of the only chains that we could access with high throughput. Basically, it did all the things we needed it to do. Right? Ethereum at the time was pretty busy, more so now. So it was definitely the right choice to move across. Ethereum is a layer 2 solution built on top of, Immutable X is a layer 2 solution built on top of Ethereum. As a layer 2, and because the technology has advanced so much since we started to build this, we can now get the same sort of transaction throughput, efficiencies, all of the underlying mechanisms that we need, with the added bonus of the security of Ethereum, which is the most decentralized and most secure blockchain, second to Bitcoin maybe, but Ethereum's better. So essentially it enables us to move the platform to Immutable X. From a user standpoint, absolutely nothing changes, right? If you're a VeVe collector, if you only use the app, if you don't have the Omi token, all you're going to experience is a market outage when the minting takes place, and then it's just back to running as normal. For token holders, because we're moving the app to Ethereum, essentially, and we all want to use the token within the app, we also have to migrate the Omi token from GoChain to Ethereum. And I'll put out instructions and articles as to how that will take place when the time comes.
And then just because the next Fedits have got a hash line, not real NFTs.
I will just say he's going to touch on the real NFTs things next, but there's a lot of scams going around. You know that there's people making bots. We have a lot of bad actors in the community. So again, like, wait, when it comes down to moving tokens, I get a lot of questions about that. Yo, when should we leave our tokens on exchanges? Should we start doing this? Should we start doing that? Don't start making any moves until you get direct word from the Ecomi team. You need to hear or see footage directly from their mouths that this is coming out. This is starting right now, and this is what you do. Don't trust any information from random tweets and things that you see, especially if it doesn't source back to Ecomi. Like, or even if it looks like it could be legit, wait until you see it on the YouTube channel. One of the many YouTubers are going to be posting on this information when it comes out. So protect your investment. Don't just don't just fall for stuff. It's a lot more great people in the community, but the more that this grows, we're gonna have a lot more people and a lot more very good scammers and things like that as well. So be careful.
Like Fedits have got a hash line, not real NFTs. What's your response to that?
We've responded to this too many times in our lives. So when we first set out to build VeVe, we had the easiest way to probably think of it is you have public and private blockchains, public and private companies. We're a private company built on a blockchain. Now, the only way we could secure a lot of these licensing deals, especially in the few years where nobody understood what an NFT was to build this in a much more private manner. As we refer to it, the security walls are up. You can't send your NFTs out of the app. All of those things require additional contracts and agreements and all of those things. So, and from a product point of view, I mean, keeping people in-house obviously isn't a bad move when you're starting out as a business. Now that people do understand NFTs and it's much easier for these technologies to be integrated, once we move to Immutable X, we can bring those walls down, which means that you'll be able to send them externally to other wallets or apps, license or depending. And I guess it just brings it more in line with what people currently consider to be, the point of NFTs or that sort of mentality around them.
So somebody just got a call, but yeah. So basically, he goes into a little bit of the mentality that people have, because what people right now consider a real NFT is everybody's all big about ownership. Everybody wants to feel like they own something, feel like they're in control. If I want to be able to send my NFT out, I have the freedom to do it and things like that. But realistically, this entire project is built for VeVe to be that #1 experience in the NFT space, to have the #1 NFTs and to have the best experience around it. So realistically, where people are going to want their NFTs at is on VeVe. People are not going to even want to take them off of VeVe in the future. That's going to be how huge the experience is built around it. But they're putting in this feature because this is what people are used to, and this is what people are asking for. But it also is important that you understand that things change. People say they want stuff. People say they want to be able to do this, want to be able to do that. This space is going to change, and it's going to shape differently. Like, it's going to, who knows if you're going to, like I said, you may not ever want to take your collectible off of VeVe in the future once everything is there. And really, there's no point in taking it off now. Like, anybody who's going to buy it on OpenSea or anywhere else, they're going to eventually be on VeVe anyway. Regardless of what people saying, oh, that's a different type of investor and things like that, VeVe is not their style. When all this stuff in that NFT side start crashing, I guarantee VeVe is going to be their style then, when they still see who's out here making money. Everybody's coming to VeVe. It's just that's what's happening. The licenses, they did this job. They handled this NFT space better than any other company has. Now, there will be companies that still exist and still survives and thrives throughout the crash that's going to come. But it's really a gamble with a lot of them. You're not gambling when you have IP history and things like that on your side. So you just have to keep an open mind and really understand the space and what's going on.
Sorry, guys. Too many calls. Yeah, does that help?
Yeah, thank you.
No, I was just going to add to that point, Claire. I think it's a really great question, and I think because of how quickly this buzzword NFT, and even words like metaverse and all of this are now kind of making their way into the mainstream. And the first thing that people who obviously maybe don't know about VeVe, the first thing that they will think of when you say NFT will be something like a Bored Ape or something that lives within that kind of ecosystem, and it's sort of treated like you said, Rhys. So is like OpenSea a public? Would that be like a public blockchain versus something like what we have? It's more of a private. Yeah. Entity.
So OpenSea now is essentially becoming an app in and of itself, right? It launched as its own product and obviously collects fees from all the NFT trading. They probably have about 90% market share of the NFT space at the moment, outside of our platform. But they're actually, to my knowledge, OpenSea currently runs on Ethereum Layer 1, the original Ethereum blockchain. They will also soon be available on, say, Immutable X or Polygon or whatever. So it's actually almost like the app is moving and launching on each chain, which allows these kind of transactions to happen. I will just take a moment to explain a little bit of Immutable's tech. So they run, it's based on ZK rollup technology, right? Which basically lets you bundle up a whole bunch of transactions, save on the gas fees and the computational power, which is the gas fee essentially.
Yeah.
But they use a type of rollup, I think it's called a Validium rollup, where essentially all the transactions happen off chain, and then once a week or whatever the interval is, they commit the proof, the ZK proof of all of those transactions to the base layer chain. And that's the verification and security that takes place there. It works much in the same way as an exchange does now, right? If every time you're trading crypto on an exchange, that's not happening on chain. That's happening on their databases
within the exchange.
It's committed on chain, right? Or boosted in their wallets. So it happens in a similar manner to that. But that's how you get those efficiencies. You're not paying gas every time I need to send an NFT to you or we sell one or anything like that, which is how they get that huge reduction in environmental footprint as well, which was obviously crucial to our decision making.
Oh, huge. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, so he's going to get ready to head into the Omi utility, where he actually reveals that we're going to have 2 new staking tiers in the next version that comes out. And also, this is where we're going to end the video at so when he gets into the burns and stuff like that. So yeah, we're wrapping up here.
Thanks.
And then I suppose it's just an opportunity for you, because I know you've been busy working on the Omi utility and the article that you've brought out, and I know people will have heard it being discussed but might not actually understand what it's about. So basically what it is in a nutshell, and the fact that we can still feedback and it's an evolving document in a way.
Yeah. The Omi utility, you mean?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. No, you're right. So once we move to immutable and then can start to build in all of these new features, which all happen on smart contracts, right? It's the development time, like you're actually coding an autonomous contract that can execute these functions, at 1,000 times a second or whatever needs to happen. But the Omi token has always been designed as a utility token, which means we need to give it some utility. Now that core utility is transacting in the market with other users. So you'll be able to buy and sell peer-to-peer using the token instead of gems. Why would you want to do that? A lot of people are facing fees when putting fiat into the app, right? There's a digital asset fee that's imposed by the EU now, I think. Currency conversion fees. There's limits on how many gems you can load per day, things like that. So obviously the Omi token becomes a better option on that front. But it also lets you transact in larger amounts, and frankly, people bought this token for that utility. So it's crucial that we return that. On top of that, we add a lot of new fun things. So the first thing we're going to add is a staking program. And just to note that, I think we're looking to add 2 more staking tiers as well, which will have other benefits and access.
So the feedback has been heard. They're adding 2 more staking tiers. That's big. That's big.
To add 2 more staking tiers as well, which will have other benefits and access that will come out in version 2. But the staking program, is designed to support the token, basically. It gives you access to things in the app. It helps you build your digital collections. If you're part of the Master Collector program and the Omi staking program, you can double dip on rewards and access, right? So it's fundamentally should improve your collecting experience, or at least give you a better chance of getting some of your favorite items. But what it also does is lock up the token supply, right? And it locks it up for a predetermined amount of time, adds a lot more stability to the token value or the token price, and basically gives us a better measure of how many tokens are in circulation. So that's kind of the core purpose of the staking program within the utility program. The other things we have are like the Omi drop raffle, where depending on your staking tier and your participation, you'll receive X number of tickets, or you can buy into the raffle, which would give you a better chance of claiming your favorite collectible as well. Obviously, we're going to be rolling out a heck of a lot more collectibles, different verticals, all of those things. So as people start to explore their fan bases, it really gives you an opportunity to collect the things you want, or a better chance to anyway. So that's the core premise of the Omi utility: to create better better uses for the token, uses in general, better access to build your collection, and benefit the overall tokenomics.
And then part of that, there'll be more burn as well, won't there?
So now he's going to jump into the burn, and this is where we're going to end it off at. We're going to get into the burn, hear this out, and this is where the end. This is going to be interesting.
There shall indeed be more burn, yes.
Burn, baby, burn. Let's go.
Baby, burn. We are, almost every Omi transaction will have some sort of burn transaction there. Whether it's part of the fee or an extra portion. We've collected everybody's feedback from version 1. Is that my mic that's being a little hot there?
Yeah, there's a wee bit of feedback somewhere.
I'm not sure. Yeah. I'll try to talk a little. We've collected everybody's feedback from version 1 and built out the program from there, which was always the intention. We wanted to see how it was received. I have good ideas, but a million people have better ideas for the most part. So it certainly makes it easier to compile that info and to deliver a program that meet people's expectations, and really the incentives have to be strong enough to encourage you to go and buy tokens, right? If you want those advantages, because then that benefits everybody in the ecosystem. So that's the fundamental, idea behind the program.
So the fact that they understand, the fact that they understand that the incentives has to be there, they have to make it so good that people will actually want to utilize this and take advantage. You can see how they're thinking about this from every single angle, and they're not just doing this with the token. They've been doing this with the entire project. They've been doing it with every single piece of the project. Like, this is why I always give them that credit, because when you really break down what they're doing and the things that they accomplish and how they come at everything from a tactical perspective, like when people were saying, yo, why don't they just throw it on some exchanges, just pay them, have them put it on there and do that? It's like, you would, like, that's probably something that you would do. And it's a reason that they have had these results that no one in human history has seen before. And I mean, most people just don't have these results. It's like, they're doing everything just so strategically, and it makes a lot of sense. It's very logical. So they have a very strong team, very strong leadership, and it's crazy.
Buy tokens, right? If you want those advantages, because then that benefits everybody in the ecosystem. So that's the fundamental, idea behind the program. And I think version 2 will make people pretty happy compared to version 1.
And I mean, I think it's good to point out that what other business in the world takes feedback from their customers like this? You guys made $34 million, yet you're listening to every single one of us, like every single one of us.
And that's a fact, man. So yeah, we're going to end it there. This is pretty huge. We got so much information out of this one. And I mean, I'm like, this information and all this stuff is making me very, very bullish. I don't know about you all, but I'm loving it. Let me know your thoughts. As always, be sure to drop that thumbs up, subscribe, turn on notifications so you stay updated. And yeah, I'm going to catch you all on the next one, man. Peace out, Joe.